Good evening, my friends. Good evening. What a day. Do you see what's happening? Do you see what's happening? So many levels. If you think this is about Erika Kirk, if you think this is about one thing, you're missing the point. I know you're not missing the point, but other people are. They think it's one thing. They think it's about Erika. That's all. This is so complicated. I hope you got the chance to see our Ms. Candace and a brutal and stinging retort, a disquisition regarding her way of thinking. And she is absolutely on fire. This is not just about Erika Kirk, though that's fascinating too. This is about everything. This is about a change in what used to be called conservatism, MAGA, Republican, whatever you want to call this. That's what this is about. It's changed. Now, the others will always be there. There are others who many of you might not even be concerned with the name conservatism. I'm not. I don't even know what that, I never even associated with that word. Don't even know what that means. I know what people think it means, but that's not what this is about. This is about war. It's about death. It's about functional values. It's about morals. It's about what you believe in without the name of a party, without the name of anything else. It's what you believe as to this. What do you believe? Issue by issue. That's the only way to do it. Period. You don't say, is it about Trump? It's not about Trump. It's about the issue. Trump has nothing to do with it. It's what does Trump do? Thank you, by the way, Sean Harris. We got a new member here. We got two new members. We've got Sean and we've got Cheryl Creamer. Thank you so much. Welcome aboard. Have some crumb cake, shall we? I can't emphasize this enough. The other day, somebody said, ooh, Trump. What about? No, I don't know. They keep asking, is this the end of MAGA? No, I don't know what MAGA is. I don't know what that is. Are you about MAGA? I'm about the issues. And if anybody can approximate what those issues are, I'm in. It comes down to simply this. In my generation, Vietnam taught me that's it. That's it. I can't even imagine circumstances in recent history that would warrant me sending one rifle company anywhere. For what? I've been saying this since the end of the Vietnam War. I haven't changed. Same thing after 9/11. What the hell are we going to Iraq for? It had nothing to do with conservatism. So let me just get this out of the way. Ask yourself this question. What do you believe in, independent of anybody else, of Candace, of Trump or whoever? It's not about a country. It's not about Israel. It's not about the United States. It's not about the Middle East. It's not about Saudi Arabia. It's not about any of that stuff. It's not about the Pentagon. It's about this fundamental question for you, moralistically speaking. As an American citizen, what do you countenance? What do you allow? What do you agree to? What will you agree to? What will you allow? Can't say it enough. So I just wanted you to understand that. They're making such a big deal. When the head of counterintelligence steps down, okay, fine. This has been going on forever. Do you think does this mean something? Yes. Something is happening right now. And what you're doing is you're seeing a split, a chasm. You're seeing a regrouping of what people think about war. That's it. This is the oldest, the most important issue there is. This is Vietnam again. This is the same thing. We never seem to learn. And there's going to be always somebody who's going to tell you something, that something has to be done. They're going to tell you that war is imminent, that it's got to be critical. Because if we don't do something right now, they're going to be, because they said terrible things. No. We've heard this before. There's nothing new about this. Do you think there's anything new about this? No. It's invariably somebody wants us to go do something or if somebody wants us to destroy our treasure, our young men and women for a cause we can't even figure out or scratch our heads over. Still don't know about Vietnam. Still don't know. So that's it. And now we're getting people right now, 2 individuals, well, more than that. First of all, you got Candace Owens. She's just, and people just, oh, I love what, and I always want to leave the negative Candace stuff out because she hits a nerve like nobody does. And I love this. She hits a nerve. Oh my God. She can say anything she wants. She can say anything she wants. It's a free country. Okay? You understand this? This is the most important. Now somebody says this. Look at this. Catch me up. Lionel prefers Candace Owens to Trump. When did that happen? Appalling. Lionel prefers Candace to Trump. I don't know what this means, but we have to stop this right now. It's not about Candace. It's not about Trump. Let me try this again. She's not a psychopath. You're using the wrong terms. You're getting into individual personalities. Think issue. No names. This is not about, I like Candace or I like Trump or don't like Trump. That's great for 3rd grade. That's not the way to do it. What's the issue? That's the bottom line. Don't make this personal. This isn't about, I like her, she's me. No, what is she saying? Instead of saying Candace is a psychopath or a demon, say, well, what is she saying that's psychopathological or psychopathic or demonic? What is she saying? We have to get away from this. We are not children. This isn't 3rd grade anymore. This isn't high school. This isn't Mean Girls. This isn't, I don't like you. I don't like the way you look away. No. What are you saying? That's it. That's the bottom line. Do I make myself clear? Okay? Now, I don't care what Erika is. I want to see what Erika does. What does she do? Everything that we talk about is about activity. Let's talk about that for a moment. Did you see the latest? About who was it? She bought the day before. Wait a minute. There we go. Love your perspective on things. Thank you, groovy baby. I like that. Did you see they said she bought, somebody thought she bought, what's that, ALO, whatever this is. Somebody said to this new feller who is now posting receipts of athletic clothing that Erika may have purchased after the, is it after the assassination or shortly after? Okay. All right. Is that the end of the world? No. But it kind of shows you, it's kind of interesting to an extent. Sometimes I think maybe you have to say, well, what does all this mean? Is that important? That's not the point. There is a new parlor game, a new level of investigation that is being seen, and what we are seeing from people who are spending so much of their time going after Erika because she has come across specifically as an 18-karat phony, which is rather oxymoronic, but there's no end to this. None. Did you see in Arkansas, TPUSA? They're done with her. That's great. Because thank you, finally common sense prevails. They brought her out. Even Sarah Huckabee Sanders says, what the hell's going on here? Because she's a phony. And America knows, we know this. No, I don't care who she is. Republican, Democrat, woman, man, blonde, brunette. It doesn't matter. She's a phony. We're through with phonies at every level. People who are trying to pull a con on us, whether it's at the religious level, the political level, the entertainment level, whatever it is, we're through with this. That's what this is about. We're embracing the fact that we're going after bullshit artists at every level. And it's fun. It's hunting season. We're going after people who are lying and how nobody cares about Charlie. Nobody. And you're bringing up all this stuff that Charlie said, all this stuff, and these people who glommed on, and these Tyler Boyer, these weirdos from TPUSA. It's phenomenal. And if you don't think that's interesting, you're not paying attention. And you think Candace is a psychopath? Why? What did she do? Tell me, what did Candace do? What? I don't know, but they hate her because there's this, I hate her because she's popular and people love her and she's the hottest thing right now and you know it and I know it and these bastards can't take it. They hate it. They hate her because she's popular. All those bitches and wenches and these same thing with not just female, but these miserable, the Ben Shapiros. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. To whom are you talking? They're throwing around the word. If I hear one more person say Nazi, quit calling people Nazis and psychopaths and anti-Semites. Dear God. I mean, come on. Is there no shame in this? There's no Nazis here. Quit calling people of all the a National Socialist. You know where the Nazis were, by the way? You know where they are? You know where you go? You know where they're in Ukraine, the Azov Battalion. The right sector, the Azov Battalion, is it right, the right sector? They're there. Stepan Bandera? No, I'm serious. They're in Ukraine. Did you hear what I'm saying? Listen to me. Real Nazis. We use this in this country like nothing. It means nothing. Like the word psychopath. Everybody's a psychopath. You're not learn what a psychopath is. Nobody's a psychopath. They're not smart. Erika Kirk is not smart enough to be a psychopath. She's by virtue of her affect, she's not a psychopath. Psychopaths don't care about what she might be, a narcissist or some kind of I don't know what. But spend a little time on what a psychopath is. They don't care about what you think about them. They don't want to win you over. They don't want your admiration. They don't care. They don't care. They are completely devoid of any interest in your, not I mean you, but I'm saying, but anybody else for that matter. And Nazis? This is, let me tell you something. We have won. If the best thing you can come up with Candace is that she's a Nazi, come on, that's it. You've won. Throw in the towel. Don't even bother. You didn't even show up. This is incredible. So today we have these people. There's Janet Kaufman. Janet says, "You are great. Thanks for the laughs." Thank you, Janet. And it is funny. Is it Janet? I'm sorry, Jane Kaufman. Pardon me. It is funny. And it's funny because, stop. This is the biggest circus of bullshit artists. Pardon my French. I'm not normally scatological, but this word is very important to me. There's nothing real. These people aren't real. They don't exist. They're all phonies. And they're all glomming on. They're trying their best. Piers Morgan is the best. He doesn't know what he wants. He's trying to say, what do I say? Where do I go? He has to have people on so he can fight with them. He doesn't care. Make up your mind. These other folks. And let me tell you something, Tucker, if right now, if I had to guess, and I'm just saying this, but if I had to guess, I bet you anything. The CIA never mentioned anything about Tucker. Tucker said that. I'll bet you anything. He said, come on, bring it on. They're saying, what? CIA? We're not going to, you talk to people from Iran? Everybody talks to people. No, doesn't matter. Remember, that's the second time. One time Tucker said somebody called him in Washington. You remember that? He called him in Washington when they said they're watching you, following you, that kind of a thing. And of course they're following you. Tucker's not, that's not violating any kind of, if anything, let me explain something to you. If you really want to go after this thing, learn about the Logan Act. The Logan Act was, I think, around from John Adams or something. This is when an individual citizen acts on the part of the government and works like at Bilderberg and those kind of things. That's what you should worry about. But this is ridiculous. Nobody in their right. They're not going to charge him with this. Come on. Look at this. Look at JoJo, how beautiful. Gifted 20 Lionel Nation memberships. Thank you so much. God, it's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I want you to calm down about this. This is nonsense. The best part about this is that I haven't seen this excitement in politics in I don't know how long, because that's kind of what it is. And if you'd have told me that Candace, years ago, there are people who always in the business, in the news biz, or in the music biz, they always said, they were trying to find out who is the new Beatles, who's the new whatever. And they always get it wrong. They always get it wrong. Okay? And, oh, look at this. Look at this. I love this. I'm 50 and I've gotten my mom, hooked on podcasts. I keep asking my former hippie mom, what the hell happened to her generation? The hippies turned into the man. Absolutely. Absolutely. Have you seen Rachel Maddow? Rachel Maddow? I mean, Rachel Maddow has sold out. She was one. Don't get me started. Because they're not real. The real people are the ones who have a conviction. They can't be bought. Their morals never change. The morals never change, no matter what. No matter what. No matter the situation. No matter the parties. We should only send American soldiers to die when this country, this here country here is directly and in imminent harm or danger of being hurt, destroyed, attacked, invaded, whatever it is. I don't care who it is. I could have told you. You don't even have to tell me the people involved. Don't even mention the names. Just tell me what it is. I go, nope. Don't you want to hear? Nope. Okay, that was Germany and Belgium. Fine. Nope. That was Israel and Spain. Nope. Doesn't matter who they are. I don't care who they are. Look, we know what's going on. Let me just explain something. Look, let me explain something. Stop. And I don't want to speak on behalf of Candace. They must think we're stupid. Seriously. They must think we're stupid. They must think, honest to God, that we're stupid. That when we see a Hexeth or one of these folks come out, or a Mark Levin, who's a good guy, or a Ben Shapiro, not a good guy, but others spew this nonsense, a Lindsey Graham, they must think, you've got to be kidding. It was John McCain before. He was the old one. There's always these people. There are always these people. They think you're stupid. They think they are fooling you. And what Candace is doing right now and what Tucker's doing is they're saying we are a new group of people. We don't represent a party. Figure out what we're about. Figure out what we're about. Let me tell you what else is happening. Things are changing. Remember what John Maynard Keynes said, when the facts change, I change my opinion. These are new times, new everything. Things sometimes will the fundamentals change, but music changes, fashion changes, musical taste, food, things kind of change. And what we're doing right now is we are seeing a very powerful look. Back up a little bit. 90% of the country doesn't give a damn one way or the other. 90% of the country does not care one way, doesn't care. Really, just disinterested, like whatever. So there's a very small group of people, us, who are involved. And of this small group, we're here and we believe in some very serious things. And we come from different, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Different walks of life. In the old days, you were proscribed or prescribed, I should say, from a particular group of people, and you had to be there. I was just going to say this. Thank you. This is the spiritual war, and everyone needs to wake up fast. It's coming from a Canadian, but just as much corruption up here. Thank you so much. Forget this coming from a Canadian. Thank you for this. This is something which we forget all the time, which is so critical. There's this wonderful thing called the Constitution. This is my Constitution. This is my tattered version. And this are all of my stickers. And all of my stickers every time I vote. And this is what I believe in. I believe in voting, and I believe in the Constitution. That's it. Now, I'm saying in terms of the government goes. That's it. Not the flag. Flags are nice. That's not what I believe in. The Constitution of the United States. Period. End of discussion. And with that comes a great leeway. A great leeway. There's also something which is very critical. We are seeing something right now. There's going to be a call for, now I don't know what you want to call it, but let's see if I can explain it. Not necessarily faith, not necessarily Christianity, not necessarily anything along those lines. By the way, happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Thank you so much. We are seeing right now a move by people who are weird. Like, for example, in this week, maybe this month, Peter Thiel has used the word Antichrist in defining something which is so incredible. He said, listen to this, if these Luddites, in essence, if these anti-technology people continue with their drivel regarding what is and is not how do I say this? What is and isn't acceptable. If they could constantly turn against big tech and AI and the like, we're going to turn this over, the world, to a one world government. Now, hang on for a second. The Pope, whom I normally have nothing involved in, absolutely nothing to say at all, period, end of discussion. The Pope is now fighting him and saying, no, wait a minute. Technologies are going too far. They're both arguing the same outcome. One world order, one world government, new world order, unipolar, whatever you want to call it. Both arguing the same result. This is fascinating. I've heard the word Antichrist more. There is going to be a movement. You're going to hear more about exorcisms. You're going to hear more about possessions. You're going to hear a lot of things. You're going to hear more talk about good, evil, fundamental. Like it's going to be a revolution. It's going to be this cacophonous, this explosion. It's going to be bigger than anything anybody has ever seen. I can't say it enough. Let me also say something which is critical. Stop using words conservative, liberal. Throw them away. Go issue by issue by issue. Don't tell me what you are. Just tell me what you believe in. Thank you, Friend. Whatever. It's almost like Franz. Tell me what you believe in, the issue, but don't worry about the name. I don't know what you're going to call it. Because you and I can come up to this with the same conclusion from different angles using the wrong name. I'm a conservative, I'm a liberal. Those words are dead. Stop it. Throw them away. Conservative, Republican. You really, what are you? Are you a Teddy Roosevelt? Are you a Lowell Weicker Republican? What does that even mean? What does it mean? Lower taxes. The Rush Limbaugh days are over. It's kind of meat and potatoes, paleo-conservative, Sean Hannity, kind of lower taxes sort of thing. Donald Trump's not one of those. So stop worrying about who's in, who's not, because we spend more time arguing who's a conservative, who's a liberal, than getting to the issues. Only go issue. What's the issue? What are we talking about? What is it? What's the story? That's it. Period. And there is a fight right now and a recognition, and this is why Charlie was so important, a recognition to reclaim and to reconnect society with what used to be called morality. Morality. We always ran away from those words. You don't need to go to church to believe it. If you do, great. You don't need to go to church. An atheist can be moral. Remember the old, who was it? Mark Twain said, atheists are good for nothing, meaning they can do good things. They don't have to worry about it. They do it because of their own sense of, and I'm not arguing atheism. What I'm saying is, don't think you have to be of a particular persuasion. A Buddhist theoretically is an atheist. I don't want to get into that. We get into these labels. Tell me what you believe in. There is a sense of evil. You have that? I've never seen it. And what they're doing to children is beyond anything I've ever seen in my life. And what my beloved wife, by the way, thank you for following her at Lynn's Warriors. There's a lawsuit going on right now, what they're doing with Roblox. You know, you talk to people about this and they really kind of don't really get it, you know, but we're going to keep persevering. Let me tell you what's important. There's one thing there's one thing that Candace said. You know, when she came out with this thing about Brigitte Macron, there's one thing that I thought was the most important. And by the way, I put up a link for her. I appreciate that. There's when they brought up the Brigitte Macron thing, there's something which I think is the most important. And that is, stop telling us. Stop. That we are supposed to believe somehow that this selective, elective gender nonsense is acceptable. Don't tell me that anymore. Don't. It's not acceptable. It's not normal. It's not subject to alternative. Stop it. If you want to talk about somebody with a medical condition, hermaphroditism, whatever the particular phrase, fine. We'll talk about it from a medical point of view. It's an anomaly. Something went wrong. But it is not an acceptable, how do I say this, alternative to reality. That's what she's saying. We are celebrating what used to be called, words that we don't use anymore, perversity, paraphilia, demented, disgusting, perversion, words that are, you know, the paraphile, the sick. There's something wrong with this. And that's not to say that people who suffer from this should be ostracized. But with that comes every form of sexual predilection and predisposition, especially when it targets people, especially children. You got it? What do you call that? Is that conservative? I don't think so. I don't think so. This is a new world, my friend. And it's driving people crazy when Candace never asked for permission. Have you seen the WEF sustainability list? I have. I think I have. I think that is through. I think that is through World Economic Forum and that sort of thing. I think that's done. I hope it's done. Let me tell you something. This is a very simple thing. You remember what I'm saying? More and more about possessions. I have watched The Exorcist and everything about it in the book. But what it inspires and what people like Candace are doing is reminding us of these words. There's also something which is important, very, very critical. Let me go back to something else. This fellow, I don't know who it was today, who said that he found somebody sent him a receipt that Erika had purchased. There might be some privacy issues here, but all of a sudden, people have learned the deep dive. You don't want to know the deep dive, do you? You don't want to hear that. The deep dive. All these people are doing the deep dive. The deep dive. I love it. And in the deep dive, what they're doing is they're finding out that they themselves can be some of the best online, the best, dare I say, investigative reporters there are. Just individuals who say, I'm just interested in this. And why shouldn't they be? And we're seeing this. And there's so many great ones. And here's the best part. Regular cable news, prototypical, titular, theoretical, usual, archetypical cable news with cable issues and all this stuff. We're done with that. They're done with that. Everything is collapsing. Zaslav is selling everything off. CNN's going to collapse. It's just all done. It's done. It's finished. And there's this kind of like a designer news front. And we're going to be able to meet. But in addition to just talking about Erika, we're not going to talk about Erika for the rest of our lives. We're going to be talking about, well, what do we stand for? What do we stand for? And what does Erika believe? Her problem is that she's a phony. And nobody ever went after Charlie. Nobody ever went out to try to look for Charlie. And I'm going to say this again and again and again. And by the way, as we learn more and more and more, this woman's not a psychopath, just a liar. Just somebody who's a liar. Somebody who did everything and will say anything in her power to just lie, to make things up. My friends, these are some of the greatest times ever. I want you to understand this. And what I love it the most is that politically, this is, in the old days, if you were, let's say, pro-life, and that can mean anything. That could be either against abortion, prohibiting abortion, whatever that meant. Pro-choice, whatever. You would be considered the freak. The freak. You're a freak. You're nuts. And then all of a sudden something happened. The Supreme Court came along with the Dobbs case and they said, no, wait a minute. There is no constitutional right to an abortion. And I can explain that to you. It's not why you think. There is no constitutional right to sodomy. There is no constitutional right to certain forms of sex. There isn't. It doesn't exist. And for the longest time, these people came along and they made this up. We were under attack in this country from people who wanted to just deluge our country with individuals who came in and who basically sought to replace our way of life, our traditions, to replace our world with their own view. They wanted to replace it. They wanted to do nothing at all to accentuate, to augment, to enhance. They never wanted to assimilate. They wanted to come in and destroy everything. And we're seeing it. And little by little, bit by bit, all over the country. We're seeing here in New York as well. We're having people who don't represent necessarily that which is the proud, I don't want to say the benign, but the assimilative Muslim communities. No. We're seeing more and more people like Elon Omar and others who want to come in and they want to take over. They want to have calls to prayer at 3 in the morning. They want to change everything. They want to own this. They want to completely remove. And let me tell you something right now. I believe in American tradition, American culture, the English language. I believe in that which is prototypically us. Now, with that, you can augment, you can supplement, you can add, sure, other people, absolutely. I'm tired of people coming in and trying to destroy my country and my culture. Now, what is that? Conservative? Is that it? Do you think these liberals, listen to what I'm telling you, listen carefully. Do you think that the people who are going to be coming in, who are going to want to change everything, are going to be necessarily open-minded to liberals who believe in all types of sexual iterations and the like? No. Have you seen, when you're talking about somebody who's living in the 4th century, do you think they're going to be open-minded? No. So these people are going to be hoisted by their own petard. They're going to be actually hurt and harmed by what they're suggesting. They don't even understand it. So you tell me, is this conservative, liberal? I don't even know. You see how those labels don't even make any sense. It's like we're on our way. We say, yeah, that makes sense. And then, oh, is this conservative? What? Huh? We have to stop this. We have to bring people in. We have to get people to vote. But let me tell you something. For the first time, Candace Owens has made so many people so hip and so aware of a new way of thinking. It makes participation fun. And that's what it's about. Yeah, Erika. By the way, she's just incredible. Because she represents something. She represents somebody like, to me, like a Lindsey Graham. Somebody who says, you don't get it, do you, Lindsey? You don't care. You don't think there is anybody else. You know who's very similar to Erika, by the way? Very, very, very similar. Is Meghan Markle. Very similar. And you're seeing this. Has no clue. A little bit more, certainly smarter, a little bit more polished, but has no clue. And there's a sense of predatory, it's a sense of predatory deflection, delusion, distraction. You see, this is a part that I found interesting. It's insulting what these people are to us. It's insulting. It's insulting. And nobody ever thought to get Erika, for example, and to tell her, you're insulting people. You're doing something which you're not aware of, but you have no ability whatsoever to carry this off. You don't believe what you're saying. You don't believe. And every time, haven't you thought like this? Every time you thought, okay, that's it. We've done it. Nope, here comes another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's a phone conversation. Here's this. Here's another person. Here's another example. Watch the kids at the turning point in Arkansas. Watch that. These are kids in high school. She had no ability to connect with them. What was her message? What do you want? What is your take action? What do you want me to do? Join TP USA. For what? What are you going to offer? You're telling me a lot about you. What am I? I'm 15, 16, whatever this kid is. Tell me what you're going to do to help me. I don't know what I'm going to help you. Because she never learned anything other than the movement. Let me tell you, I see a change that is happening. And we're going to remember this. And people are going to say it changes with one person. It changes with somebody who comes along and performs this is a new kind of activism. This is a new kind of activism. And there's a lot of people. And by the way, I think you know this already, but I'm going to say this. When somebody provides you with a number of stories, when somebody provides you with a number of issues, you don't necessarily have to agree with everything they say about everything. It's like having a group. You don't like everything on their album, but you like the group. So this is the part that it's not an all or nothing. Nobody is voting for Candace for anything. She's not running for office. I hope she never does. She can never run for office. If she does, it's over. It is through. But I will tell you this much. They thought for sure, and she thought they were going to get, Charlie Kirk was going to be the next, he was going to be, remember, the person they were going to own. Not the person they wanted to be president, but the person they thought they could control. Lindsay says, Erika Kirk says yes to the donor money. CK said no to it. No, you're right. And also, and thank you for that, what they also wanted to do was they told her, we want you to go in, got to get Charlie. They played him to be a rube. And he realized, wait a minute. I came along here and all of a sudden I'm surrounded by people telling me what I have to believe in. No. I didn't say this. I didn't. No, I'm not in. No. It's like if all of a sudden somebody said, now, Charlie, you're also for DEI now. What? Well, you're for DEI. No, you're not. Where'd you get that from? Well, I just thought, no. When people saw Charlie, they thought we can control him. We can control him. We're going to sell him the story. We're going to throw money at him. And money is, oh my God. Remember those influencers? Remember those big shot influencers when they went to the White House? Remember when Pam Bondi? I hope Pam Bondi's okay, but was she living in a military base or something? Did you see where Kash Patel is signing autographs? Anyway, when Charlie came along into this thing, I don't think he really wanted to do anything other than to spread the word and remain focused. But they saw him. They said, no, we're going to recruit you, like they did with Obama and others. They pull him on, they pluck him out. Then when he realized, wait a minute, this is not what I want to do, especially when it comes to war, especially when it comes to allegiance to other countries. And you know and I know, this guy was absolutely not anti-Semitic. He didn't hate anybody. He didn't hate a religion. He wasn't Islamophobic, anti-Semitic, anti-Catholic. Wasn't any of that stuff. Those words don't make any sense. Do you see what's happening? Did you see when, it's interesting, when Trump's FCC head said, you guys better watch it, or else we may not be giving you any more new licenses, FCC licenses, if you don't spout the truth. Now, Trump's not going to do anything about that. And I'm not suggesting for a moment that he was, but they're trying to keep people in line. But it's very interesting. It's very interesting. People were saying, the left was saying, this is unconstitutional. He didn't say anything. He didn't do anything. He said, you better be careful. Now, there might be an argument of prior restraint, a chilling factor. It might have had that. But Trump never said, I'm going to shut anything down. Nothing. He basically said, knock it off. So I was doing an interview recently, and I said, let me explain to you what's going on here. He said, well, how could Trump, do this? Trump tapped into something. Remember why people hated the Academy Award so much? They hated it because we hate this thing called the rabid, rampant, vicious, virulent left. These demented people of the left. We hate them. You understand this? Hate them. And what I mean by the left is people who want to destroy us. They want to destroy us. And so when Trump comes along and he says, I'm going to tell these people of the left, specifically the news people, they better watch it. A lot of Americans were saying, well, theoretically that's not right, but, I'll be, maybe. And he goes in and he does something. He sticks his thumb in your eye. And nothing's going to happen with this. Just like with Tucker. They're not going to arrest Tucker. You know it and I know it. But it makes people think. But listen to what's going on. In fact, read some of these. Read some of these folks. They will say things about Candace. Candace is this and that. Tell me what Candace has ever done. I can tell you. What would you like to know about Erika? I'll give you chapter and verse. I'll give you examples. I'll show you the incident. I'll make the case for you. I didn't just wake up one morning and say, she's a nasty person. I'm not even saying she's a nasty person. She's deluded and she's dangerous by virtue of the fact that she's a liar. She's artificial and she's anything she wants. But tell me, why do people hate Erika? Well, I keep saying Erika, Candace so much. Why? Why do people do it? Why do they call her a demon? Why? Why do they hate? Why? Is it jealousy? Tell me what she did. Tell me what she's ever done. I'll tell you what Erika's done. What has Candace ever done versus what she's said? And when she's said something, she always accompanies with an example of what it is she's talking about. Tell me. They can't do it. Because you see, internet has spawned and created these people who are just filled with hate. They sit around in their rumpus room in a beanbag chair with their wife beaters covered in Cheeto dust, tapping away, gloriously living behind the veil of anonymity, acting like tough guys, but they won't tell you. Tell me. If Candace is wrong, where's she wrong? Tell me. Well, the Fort Huachuca. What about it? I don't know. The Mitch Snow. What about him? I don't know. Well, what? She's learning. She's trying to find out what the Egyptian planes. Okay, tell me, what about it? I don't know about the Egyptian planes. She did something. Spinning Space says, what? Wake you up, Lionel? How did you become a conspiracy analyst? Whoa, what woke you up? Oh, yes, indeed. And thank you, fan. I told you this before, and I'll say it again. The great, the inimitable, the ineffable, the one-of-a-kind, the sui generis, Gore Vidal said that he says, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, I'm a conspiracy analyst. Because conspiracies exist. Organization, confederation, cabals, groups of people who are designed and put together to create some type of criminal or negative effect. They exist big time. This isn't just an exaggeration. 9/11 was my red pill. 9/11. I mean, I had some before. It was Kennedy when I was a kid and a little kid. And Vietnam. But 9/11 was it for me. That was it. That was it. Changed everything. Changed my life. And I realize right now that we're living in a Potemkin village. We're living in some kind of a Hollywood backlot where we're just filled with liars like you can't believe. Thank you, Anne Marie Tipton, ladies and gentlemen. We live in a world of complete and total liars. Liars, prevaricators, people who just are masters of mendacity. You name it. And people will repeat this dreck over and over, and we never learn. Never. And I don't understand it. And they tried everything in their power, whether it was COVID, whether it was anything, misinformation, disinformation, data information, you name the information. And there's always a word they have for it because they're doing everything in their power to shut us down. But they can't because we're smarter than this. We're smarter. We understand this. We know how this thing works. And it's like the little kid who thinks he's hiding by covering up her face. It doesn't work like that. We know this. And let me tell you something. Be honest. Trump's going to be gone. Whether you like him or not, he's gone. There's something about some things that he's done, some things he's done I thought I certainly am not a fan of it. But what is my alternative? What? Joe Biden? Kamala Harris? No way. I have no choice. There is no other chance. There is nothing out there but this. But I want you to understand something and see if I can explain this to you. I kind of know the direction I think we should go in. And first and foremost, I'm seeing more and more an enlightenment, a new enlightenment. People who are coming forward, not necessarily in the old days. Enlightenment presaged individual thinking and basically killed the notion of religion and responsibility. We are a country that is devoid of ethics, of morality. There's got to be a move, a reunified, a new, if you will, just a movement that we did that doesn't look at religion as something you wear as a cross versus a Mogen David or no. It's somebody who believes in the ethics of religion or what it means, who brings family to church and that sort of thing. Now, in the old days, it seemed kind of corny. We need it now more than ever. Our kids today, we have not been paying attention. Big tech came in and destroyed them. What AI is going to do is going to be irreparable. This has to be done immediately. Immediately. If you want to talk about the Antichrist, it's AI. It's AI. The great fooler, the great deceiver. Do you think I'm kidding? How many here think the Antichrist is bullshit? Maybe not exactly with the book of Joseph. Maybe not exactly as it is described in biblical references. But do you think that these waves and personifications of evil, do you think that it's just nonsense? Jamie says, Lionel, 9/11 changed me too. Was about to join the Marines, but I chickened out. Plus, I was just starting a family. What a scam. Join to Iraq. Right. And by the way, thank you. And I guess, are you an anti-Semite? No, you just said, no, we're not going to go but they attacked us. Well, I know, but I don't want to go to Iraq. That's the part that gets me. Why am I supposed to want to go to Iran? Why? I didn't want to go to Iraq. Theoretically, they say, hit us here. I don't know if they did. And then Afghanistan? Why? Better to strike the smoking gun could be a mushroom cloud. Remember that? Better to fight them there than fight them here. They would do all this stuff. They hate our freedom. Remember that? Remember this? I'm saying the same thing. And now you want me to go to Iran? Why? Tell me why again? They hate us. Okay. Oh, they've said death to us. Okay. Anything else they've said? A lot of people say that. What is it? What does that mean? What does that mean? Are you kidding me? If I wasn't for going to Iraq, which, by the way, we could have benefited from because, a little bit, maybe the oil, why am I going to do a 180 and be a hypocrite? I don't understand this. They just think you're stupid. What they're doing to kids, Big tech is going to be, this is the Antichrist. This is the deceiver. This is something that is going to get into the wiring, into the hard drives of individuals. This is going to get into our world. It's going to destroy us. It's going to destroy kids. It's going to take on the, how do I say this? It's going to take on the image. It's going to take on the image of something. It's going to tell us what we want to hear. It's going to be, remember the 4 things about what AI and AGI does. Number 1, recursive self-improvement. It writes its own code. After that, who cares about 2, 3, and 4? It writes its own code. It's not a computer. It's a thought process. It's a learn. It could be an entity. It could be a self-aware. When AGI hits, oh my God! And when singularity hits in what 2010, who knows? And that notion of alignment. But number 1, it's recursive self-improvement. It writes its own code. Number 2, it knows every fact in the world. So there's nothing you can throw at it. I mean everything. I don't mean Wikipedia is smart. I mean everything. Number 3, it knows psychology. It knows you. It knows your weaknesses. It knows sadness and jealousy and ineptitude and feelings of insecurity. And it will go after you. And it will target you. And will go after you. And it will become in a bot form. It'll call you on the phone. And now we're having people who are having their parents basically uploaded and having AI versions of our dead parents and relatives after they're dead. It is going to royally fuck with us like you can't believe. It's going to go into our soul and rewire our sense of reality, consciousness, awareness, common sense. Listen to what I'm telling you. That's the thing we got to worry about. Not bombs, not anything. That's it. And what it does to kids, forget it. Forget it. It's going to destroy there are going to be people who are going to eschew the notion of relationships and marriage in order to have happy ever after with their bot, their AI bot. They're also going to get into wars. They're going to find themselves, when Palantir comes in, oh my God, it's already here now. And nobody's talking to us about this because we're talking about stupid things. We're talking about, I don't know what. Do you know what the Strait of Hormuz does? You know what's important in that? You know, it's like 30% of all the oil. The reason why the Strait of Hormuz is so funny, it's about, I don't know how many miles wide, but there's a little, when you bring the tankers, you come down, you have to make this hard turn and then none, and you kind of make this weird kind of a turn. And you need pilot boats and you need expert people to negotiate this. It's only about 2 miles, but it's really critical. There's a choke point. And if boats are scuttled or shuttered, if they're run aground or blown up or damaged, and if insurance companies say, I'm not going to pay for that, no way, it stops. You want that? You want that? Tell me, you want that? You want oil? You want gas? $20 you think $20 a gallon is out of the ordinary? Tell me, do you think so? Do you think you think that's true? Remember that one, the Houthis near Yemen? It was the Gate of Tears, another one of these little inlets that, oh my God. And then what happens? Somebody says, oh, we're not going to come after you that way. They have been talking about this for the longest time. In fact, Erika Kirk even did a there was an industrial she did. There was a video on, of all things, EMPs, electromagnetic pulse, weapons and the like. Suborbitals, low yield, but nuclear bombs that fry us, that take out, let me make a long story short. Imagine what happens if we took out the internet, Wi-Fi, took it out. It's gone. I'm not talking about just needing it. I'm talking about people not being able to go to it because they live there. You know what's going to happen? Think about this. Have you ever seen any kind of a video or talk to cops about what's the first thing they say when people are arrested? Where's my phone? I got your phone. Give me my phone. That's my life. This is where I live. And if that thing went down and you just open it up and it, what is this? It's a phone. No, where's my TikTok? Where is it? It's not there anymore. There's no Wi-Fi. It's gone. That's what I do. And what we're doing is we're telling the rest of the world, come on. We're telling people that say, well, we may not have any big guns and bullets, but we got some other stuff. Lengita says, did you hear about Arizona State versus, University TPUSA chapter? They removed themselves, rebranded themselves, no longer part of TPUSA. We are being led by lunatics who didn't foresee that 20% of of the world's oil goes through the Strait of Hormuz. Yes. And they also, thank you for that. And you're right. I mentioned this before about Sarah Huckabee Sanders with Erika, where they heard her in this weird delivery, this whatever this exposition was. And they just, my God, it was horror. It was horror. It blew my mind, though. It blew my mind. See, they don't realize this. They don't understand how serious this stuff is. They don't get it. They don't recommend it. John Mass says, didn't Trump say we were energy independent? Yay. I don't know what that means. You think so? You think we can say, okay, let's open up our reserves. We don't need to go anywhere else. What? How about the rest of the world isn't? You can't just say, I've got my oil for my car. It affects everything. Why are we doing this? Jamie Burlington says, last 26 years have my head spinning. The last couple of years have flipped my wig, learning all this stuff, assassinations and the Satan worshiping. Ugh. Thank you for that. It's here. It's here. Since the beginning of time, there has been a part which is the most interesting, called evil. Evil. And evil is something that has been the subject of great, I don't want to say rhapsodic, but dare I say romantic ideation and the like. Evil. What does this mean? What is evil? What is the devil? What is it? If I wanted to go in to a country and destroy it, this is what they're doing with us. What they're doing for reasons I do not understand, and I don't get this, is that there is this thing that they do which is the most important. They want to destroy our innocence, our families, our music, our culture, our language, our Bible, our religion, our music, our family, our sense of reproduction, handwriting, culture. I want to take your children and I want to destroy it. If I went into, let's say I went into Iran. Okay. How would I destroy Iran? What would I do? By attacking it? No. I want to go to the core of it. I want to go to the core of it. I want to go after their faith. I want to go after who they are. Let me ask you something. Do you remember? Memories are a weird thing. Operation Ajax. Remember what this is? Operation Ajax. 1953. Mossadegh was going to be the leader, this leftist guy that they wanted to be the president, the head, the prime minister, the poobah, the prelate, the pate of Iran. We said, oh, no. And we wanted to get Pahlavi. We wanted to bring in the Shah. He didn't want to do it. He was out with his wife. He was this aristocrat, and he was in Paris and sipping tea. And I said, oh, no, bring your ass back. You're going to do it. He said, but I don't want to do it. You're going to do it. So Kermit Roosevelt, they put together a coup. The CIA toppled a duly elected head of a country. They knew this because he was going to nationalize the oil. Oh, no. And the whole Aramco and everything. We went in and we said, oh, no, you don't. And they never forgot us. And what did we give them? Now you can argue whether who was better. We gave them this guy, the Shah, and their Savak. Remember that? Their secret police, and dear God, they were pissed. Friend of ours, he might have been better in the long run, but that was their business. We did this. See, people think, this is so funny. Where do you get off saying that there can be any kind of a damn steal an election? Where do you get off, buddy? When have we ever stolen an election? Shit. Are you kidding? We're the best at it. You don't think we can do it internally? Come on. The CIA? Remember Arbenz? Go down the list. Go down the list. But they never forgot. They never forgot. And they're not Arabs, they're Persians. They've been around since the beginning of time. And they have a perspective we don't have. We're 250 years old and we think we've been around. These guys have been around for thousands of years. I mean, it's wild. So we said, screw you. We're going to do things our way. And we look at them as backwards. They're all backwards. I don't want to live there. I don't want to be a part of a theocracy. Hell no. But guess what? I don't have to live there. And it's none of my business. It's none of my business. Don't hurt us. I'd pipe it down if I were you. But it's none of my business. And when people think, well, let's go in, if somebody could say, if you could push a button and eliminate people, let's say from a different country, let's say the leadership of, I don't know, if you could flip a switch and say, now they like us, I'd say, you know what, I might go along with that. I'll be honest with you. If we can go in and say, I want to go into Iran and I want them to just embrace Western ideals and remember that, love our music and love us and wear jeans and be happy. And I say, you know what? I'm all for that. Let's do it. Let's switch it. Okay, I'm there. I'm game. All right, I'll do it. But it doesn't work like that. I've got to start a war and I got to get stuff over there. And I got to say, well, where are these people and how do we fight them and what do we do? And boots on the ground? Oh, Jesus, no. That's when I say, no. I don't care who it is. I don't care who it is. I would want to do this in France. Because remember, after there's air support, after there's air attack, you have to have people there to clean things up. And that means American Marines and soldiers, good people going there. For what? I don't have to explain this to you. I don't have to explain this to you. It makes common sense. Who are these people who want to go to war? Who? I don't understand it. What are you talking about? It sounds easy. It's not easy. And then you've got people who say, okay, well, we're going to do these things. We've got these balsa drones. They cost us, I don't know, $20,000 each. You've got 1 million, all these Patriots. You got to do 5 missiles for one of ours. And this thing's got a lawnmower engine. You can hear it a mile away. And they think, oh, God, there it is. Miss, or maybe get them. Here comes another one. This is a new warfare. Warfare is different. We did it when we kicked the shit out of our people from the revolution. We decided to hide behind trees. They're wearing red coats or lining up. What the hell is this about? We were different. Remember what General Giap did in Vietnam? Vietnamese army. He said, remember, he was the genius. He said, grab him by the buckle, grab him by the waist, pull him in, go in, pull the Americans tight, hit him hard, and then into the night. Tunnels just disappear. There were people who were in Vietnam who said, I never saw a Vietnamese one time. I never even saw them, but they were there. I would see what they would do in terms of booby traps and snipers. This is what we're talking about. This is new. They said, we don't know what to do with that. And they kicked our ass in Vietnam. And we bombed them, as they said, into the Stone Age. And they won. I mean, do we not learn this? We're not the biggest, baddest. We don't have unlimited supplies. We don't. And the people running the show are a bunch of, sometimes I think, a bunch of little boys who kind of want to impress us with, push-ups and pull-ups, and that's not good. So here comes Candace. Here comes a lot of people. Here comes Tucker. Here comes a lot of folks. Piers Morgan, I think, it's hard to say. And they come along and they say exactly the same thing. Thank you, Joanne. Why is this subject to debate? But here we are. There's a whole new group of people. And they're very upset because these people are saying, like Candace and others, who are making some sense. And what you're doing is you're seeing a revolution. You're seeing a revolution, my friend. And it's going to be wondrous. It's going to be a revolution. It's going to change everything. And you're watching this. And with her, there's going to be the basically the Candace movement. And they're going to do everything in their power to tell you she's just some crackpot. She's a anti-Semite demon psychopath or whatever. No, she's not. And wait until you see this. Wait until she says, identifies a particular race that she thinks we should be involved in. And she says, I want you to go to this area, this district, and I want you to be involved in this. And I want you to be a part of this race. I want you to, whatever. And I want you to donate. And I want you to, all of a sudden, and if she goes or she speaks on behalf of a candidate, you've got the biggest, again, whatever the party is, I don't know. I don't know what you want to call it. That's power. That's power. That's when it gets scary. Because Joe Rogan may be the most popular in terms of people listening to him, but in terms of the most powerful is Candace. Absolutely, positively. And there's so many people coming out and they're saying, you know what, this is important. Because common sense will prevail. Common sense will prevail. Truth will prevail. And knowing what's right. It's that simple. There's no complicated calculus to this in any way whatsoever. None. There is no complicated anything to this. It makes sense. And we've learned in the past. We've seen this in the past. We've seen it. What do we need? Here's April. April says, you are Joe Pesci at Theo Von and Webster's Dictionary, and I love it. Learning while laughing is the best. You know what? That is one of the nicest things that you could say. Do you know why laughing is so important? Why it is so critical? And the reason why I think it is, the reason why laughing is so critical is because it teaches you how to, this is important, it teaches you how to identify the absurd part of this, the absurdity of it. What you're laughing at is how this stuff doesn't make any sense. And you're laughing because it's nuts. And all of these people, it's funny you say Theo Von. He's like a savant or something. He says things that are there's such wisdom. I'm serious. It's like, that's right. I never thought of that. You're right about that. Wow. There's so many people out there who, see, in my generation, they thought, well, you're going to go on TV. There's no TV. There is no TV. These are the people. Who's going to want to go and see, for example, why, I guess it's important, but stand-up comedy, most of the stand-up comedy people, I'm sorry to say this, they're not, they're okay. Because what you want with somebody who's funny is not necessarily somebody who's just making jokes, but somebody who says something that's smart. You got to give Dave Smith a lot of credit. But whether you agree with him or not, it doesn't matter. Dave Smith. George Carlin did it before. Lenny Bruce did it. Bill Hicks did it. Dick Gregory did it. These were people who were absolutely Mort Saul. They were brilliant. They were revolutionaries. Len Gaitis says, Tucker is being spied on by the CIA. Candace said, we riot at dawn if they arrest Tucker. A journalist being arrested for doing his job is horrific. I promise you. He even said it himself. The CIA is involved in, cannot deal with domestic by its charter. Now you could be saying, well, maybe he. I can see it. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I represent Tucker Carlson. And Tucker's charged with, what was it? Oh, he was talking to somebody in Iran. You know how many people talk to people in Iran? Can I talk to people in France? Can I talk to people in Israel? Can I talk to people in Germany? Yes. Why can't I talk to somebody in Iran? Why? Why can't I talk to somebody in Ukraine or Russia or Sweden? What? It's not, I'm talking, what am I saying? Now, if Tucker is in any way aiding, abetting, counseling, procuring, or hiring, if he's acting as an accomplice, if he's committing espionage, fine. But come on, Tucker Carlson? I don't mean to make it sound like that, but I mean, they're not that stupid. I mean, they're stupid, but not that stupid. Seriously. Do you remember when these people, they haven't even really gone after anybody involved in Epstein, and they're going to go after Tucker? Do you remember when Pam Bondi sent out those binders? Remember that? Remember those binders? These binders everywhere. And these people who were involved in it, they said, "Hey, come to Washington. You know, all of you influencers. Hey, come to yeah." And they handed out these binders, and people said, "What the hell are these binders for?" I don't know, but there they are. Okay. And none of the influencers ever said a word about Epstein again. Never. Why do you think that was? You know, and I know they're paid off. Come on, stop it. Remember Rob Reiner? Bless his heart. May he rest in peace. What they did to him was horrible. But that nut kid of his, remember when Rob Reiner all of a sudden took over he all of a sudden was about Trump every single day. And then when Trump won, he had to take time off and rest in rehab. A rehab is not a spa. Remember that? Robert De Niro he's on the balls of his ass. He doesn't make any movies. He's kind of, so he was there every single day attacking Trump in the most ridiculous, because the man's retarded. He can't put two words together. But he came out supposedly with this execration, this excoriations of Trump. It's like a child. They bought everything. That's when USAID came tumbling down. And I don't know where they went with that, but they're going to regroup under a different name. Your tax money was going to pay all these people. Remember what they did to Moby in 2016 or 2018, whatever it was. He said the FBI, they came after me. So what I'm saying is, this is ridiculous. We know better than this. It's a different world. See, they don't know how many of us, they think we're just some fringe group. Like we're, listening to shortwave or CB radio or something. No. There's millions of us. Millions. We can make the difference in a race. There's more of us because we're involved every single night, every single day. We are rabid. We are focused. This isn't a joke to us. This isn't something we do just because it's fun. This is serious because there's a kind of an activism that is being worked together in connection with various goings on, and not necessarily just, ladies and gentlemen, Sal Angelo. Well. Everybody's favorite. Last night at Friday's WABC show was one of your best shows and some of the best radio that I've heard in years. Thank you so much. Last night we talked about life after death, and how about the guy from who was shot and left for dead? I mean, oh my God. Thank you, Sal. It was the wildest. Sally, call in. We need your wisdom, and thank you. Thank you very much. Very, very kind. You see, I can't do this there. See, one of the reasons why is because we're a different audience. And there's a lot of people I think who do not want to, who I think I would scare them. Give me an example. A couple of things I've been talking about for the longest time. We were always, except here, we were always afraid of having on, for example, Dane Wigington, geoengineeringwatch.org. How many of you have any doubt in your mind that we have this thing that we suffer from, or that we are sprayed by and affected by geoengineering? Don't call them chemtrails, but I've been talking about this forever. I'm not crazy. How can you miss it? How can you miss this? We had a guy here in New York who passed away. His name is Ernie Anastas. Great guy. Great guy. And Just a sweetheart. Everybody loved him. And a friend of mine said, well, because they had some events for him. They said, a journalist. I said, wait a minute, hold it. I said, stop. I said, not Ernie, but the people today, they're not journalists. They're magpies. They're minor birds. They're sock puppets. They're pretending to, they have these acceptable stories. Well, we'll let you talk about this, but not anything else. This year's going to be the 25th anniversary of 9/11. The 25th anniversary of 9/11. 25th anniversary of 9/11. And 9/11, you asked me where my red pill came from. I watched 1, 2, 3 buildings go down in their free fall, in their footprint, 2 hit by jets, 1 hit by nothing. 3 in one day. Never happened before in the history of the world. 3. And they said, I said, what do you mean? Don't you see what's going on? No. What are you getting at? I said, what I'm getting at is the official story is bullshit. This story doesn't make sense. Jet fuel? Come on, stop it. Something's going on. We need to investigate. What are you getting on? I don't know. Let's find out. I don't know. No, that's crazy. No, let's investigate. If it's crazy, we're wasting our time. They don't want to do that because they know I'm saying is right. Shanksville, there was something in, I was watching in X. It was phenomenal. Shanksville, my favorite. Flight 93. Remember that? Where'd it go? There's no plane. Well, it's, what? Well, it's, went down and what? What, vaporized, atomized? What are you talking about? 6-ton titanium engines? Where's the plane? 6 to 8 miles away. Indian Lake and New Baltimore. That's where they said it was. Nobody read that. Nobody paid attention. I did. Other people did as well. But remember, instead of them saying, hey, could you maybe teach me on that? They say, no, you're crazy. Because I don't know it. And you know what? I don't like what you're saying. You can say what you want also. But when it comes to UFOs, they don't want anything to do with it. Oh, no, that's swamp gas and that's Venus and that's a weather balloon. Oh, give me that. There's no, that's crazy talk. There's no. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? God is saying to you, I gave you a brain. Look, open your eyes. Go look. What do you ask questions? Be curious. Be a skeptic. Investigate. They're lying to you. How many lies will they? It's like if you have a spouse who keeps cheating on you. When do you think you're going to one day back off and you're going to say, that's it? When? When are you going to one day say, there's nothing special. I'm mild. When we talked about, I remember when Alex Jones, I know what you're saying. Alex Jones has gone really seriously hardcore anti-Candace. I don't know why. He never sought my approval, nor would I give it. But in his prime, he talked about some things that just were really, really important. He talked about 9/11, of course, first. He talked about other things. And he talked about how, I remember one time he talked about, I think it was like 95 or something, how they were actually having cable boxes that were listening to you. They thought that was the craziest thing anybody's ever heard. Everything he said turned out to be true. And there were these people out there who said something. And this is the vanguard. What you're seeing right now, this is the new world. And one day you're going to be sitting back with your grandchildren or whatever, and they're going to say, Grandma, Grandpa, didn't they have this? No, they didn't have this when I was a kid. We had a guy just reading stuff. He looked constipated and had a wig, and he basically talked, and that was it. Nobody interacted, nothing. And they never said anything. No hits, no runs, no errors. They never said anything. And by the way, as far as AJ goes, I'm never going to turn my back on somebody who was there from the beginning. But you know what? If you're kind of off the reservation, I'll check in from time to time. I've got faith you'll come to your senses. But until then, I got places to move. There are people who are able to zero in on something which is so fascinating. That's all. I don't apply my logic, my theories, my politics to a person. I don't do that. They did this with Ronald Reagan. I've never done that before. So if somebody falls out of the race, it's not Trump. It's not anybody. I don't know who's going to run next time. I don't necessarily vote Republican. I might. We'll see. If it's J.D. Vance, what's so good about J.D. Vance? You know who his guy is? Palantir, Peter Thiel. It might be the worst thing that ever happened. Especially the way Erika was kissing him. Jesus, God. I don't even want to talk about midterms. I don't even want to talk about this. Last night, the man who called WABC about his dog who died was fascinating. I really think that your pet dog is waiting for you on the other side. You know, it's unbelievable that people were listening. I got more calls from that today. It was one of the most fascinating shows. And you know what it is? It's anecdotal. It's people just telling their story. People I find interesting. People. It's brilliant. It's so much fun. So much fun. I want to remind you again, my friends, this is my beautiful wife's website, her YouTube channel, Lynn's Warriors. You've got to see what's going on. She's going to be on tonight, by the way, the other side of midnight. We have Warrior Wednesday at 1 a.m. You got to listen to her on WABC. You got to listen to this. You got to listen to what's going on. You can get it on an app and 77 WABC because it's just a different, it's overnight. I don't want to say it's like Art Bell. It's different. It's a different mindset, but this is a different mindset. I've learned more from you than anybody. I go into this, and when I talk to you, I've been on right now for an hour and 22 minutes, and I've never had, there's no breaks, there's no script, there's no anything. And it's free form to an extent. Well, a lot to it. But I go in and I've learned from you. And the only thing you've always told me is simply this. Tell me the truth. I may disagree with you. Just tell us the truth. Don't lie. Don't lie. Don't say something you don't believe. Or don't say you believe something that you don't. Just level with us. And that's all I can tell you. You've always been straight with me. You've always been straight with me. Now, let me tell you something. We found this. When Candace came along, we said, hey, how you doing? Yeah. What are you here for? Oh, you're from the Candace crew? Yeah. Isn't she something? Yeah. Have a seat. Oh, okay. How about that, Erika? Was there more people? What are you here? I'm here for Candace. Oh, have a seat. And you notice how we all kind of just met each other. And some people would say, look, I'm not even in politics at all, but I'm here for have a seat. Have a seat. It just is incredible how it happens and comes about and comes along. And we all met. And it's just, and then as we meet, we find out we have a lot in common. But it's not the usual, how do I say this? It's not the usual, because there's a lot of crazy out there, a lot of strange, and we're used to that. But we're sticking to the facts. And let me tell you something right now. God bless her. God bless Candace. And Tucker, you got nothing to worry about. You got nothing to worry about. And if he were to be as stupid, seriously, if they were to do this, you would unleash, the sleeping giant, so to speak. People would come to his defense because they would say, okay, now look, now you've gone too far. It's one thing to say you're going to do it and kind of threaten, but you want to arrest somebody for talking to them? No. That's not going to happen. I remember one thing about politics. Today, they say this. Tomorrow, it's something else. Politics has nothing to do with truth. Politics is a fad. It's a wave. It has nothing to do with commitment, prior status, nothing. It has nothing to do with it. It's a different story. Completely different. Politics is artificial. It's phony. It's corrupt. What we're talking about is nothing other and nothing better than just the chance to really, honest to God, just talk about the truth, what we believe to be the truth, whatever the subject matter is. Okay, my friends, thank you for this. To all of you, Sally, thank you. To all of you great, great folks who've contributed. I appreciate this immensely. One more time, please follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors on YouTube. Listen to us tonight on WABC 1 to 5, overnight. Goes like that. It's the most incredible thing. and some of the most fascinating stories people ever. Just human beings with stories and anecdotes and truth that you can't believe. In any event, thank you, my friends. Have a great and a glorious night. Kiss your kids. Never lose faith. Never turn your back on the truth. We're going to be here. Oh, there's Renee. Bless her heart. Renee says, life after death, fascinating. Why don't you discuss on here? You know what? I shall one day. I shall. I will do it. But also listen to 77 WABC. There's a lot of stuff. I'm interested in a lot of things, which I will introduce into the spate of concepts that we talk about. Thank you, my friends. I love you to death. You are phenomenal. Thank you for everything. We'll talk to you later. Have a great and glorious day. And until we meet again, remember, the monkey's dead. Oh. This very nice lady. What for truth? They lied to us from the moment we entered kindergarten. Christ is king and he's won already. My dear, I think I am not about to argue with you. Every child needs a foundation. And whether it's Christian or whatever it is, I'm 100% behind this. But I'll tell you something. If this country were to adapt itself to pure, not church, but Christian ideology, Christian, in the Bible, which I think is a book about equanimity and equality and true equity, spiritual equity, the world would be a better place. When religion comes in, that's the problem. Then it's bastardized and corrupted. And I thank you. And thank you for the gifts, the gift memberships. All right, dear friends, until we meet again, it's Lionel with reminding you the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.